Hey, I'm Roy.
I'm Paul.
We're from MuteMath, and you're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live Entertainment.
You guys performed earlier. What is your experience like for this festival? This is a pretty big festival.
Our experience has been pretty great. I mean, we're honored to be here alongside Kanye and Forness and a few awesome artists, But yeah, we played, what time, at 3:30? Earlier on today. It was sun beating down on us, but it was fun. It was great. It's awesome.
Special connection to here in Cypress Hill that was over on the other stage. It was that whole time in the early 90s with the Soul Assassin movement that forced me to figure out how are they making these beats. And I bought my first sampler, and I spent the whole summer just trying to mimic whatever they were doing and sampling stuff. And so they got me into my love of sampling. So it's nice to.
It hit me too that of that era, they're still around, man. They're still playing festivals. They're the ones that survived. I bet whatever 20 years ago, 25 years ago, however long that will go, it was. No one would have thought it would have been Cypress Hill.
That is true.
But hats off to them.
No, and I was just talking to them about that earlier because when they started out, and even today, the music that they write, society is more open about it now. But before it was, they looked down on you, and it, yet it's successful. So I mean, they're doing it right.
Yeah, they are, man.
So I mean, are you guys hip hop heads? Is that what you guys are?
I wouldn't call myself a hip hop head, but I definitely love hip hop, and it was that era. It was, from Beastie Boys, Cypress Hill, Tribe Called Quest, like that world is. I really got into that world, but yeah, I still love hip hop. I wouldn't call myself a hip hop head, but
That's right. No, I would agree. I mean, hip hop was definitely, absolutely. It was a gateway drug to just a whole new way of thinking about music.
Okay.
Just a suburbanite kid, but completely there was an allure to it of just sampling music and just this vibe that you could make by reinventing great pieces of music looped. So I was very intrigued by that. Spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make beats, how to use samplers. And to this day, it's a special ingredient to how we even make MuteMath music. So it's just part of our creative DNA.
Now, is that something that would definitely be first before lyrics, before any other instrumentation for MuteMath, or?
Well, we run the gambit. I mean, we've been a band for 10 years now, and we've written songs many different ways, but probably the majority of the time, a song idea starts in a sampler. Our drummer is kind of the programming aficionado of the band, and he usually is creating some sort of electronic ambient type of track that he brings to us, and I usually sing on, and then we kind of react to it and then kind of meld it into a band thing. And the process of doing that is kind of what's yielded a MuteMath thing. So, but yeah, that's part of the recipe.
Nice. And like you mentioned, 10 years of MuteMath. What do you think it is that has given you that longevity as a band and still being successful?
Man,
Well, it's
not giving up, keeping
no,
at it.
Okay.
I mean, we've had our shares, of ups and downs, and just I guess trying to stay fresh, recreate ourselves, find new avenues to explore music, and not hopefully get stuck in the same rut of how we make music.
Working on new music, like every time you bring up a new record, how do you change it much, like so it's not like the last record, or so it's not the same boring process, if it's ever a boring process for you guys at some point?
It's a complete mind game. Every time you go into making a record, you are playing mind games with yourself, because to get to make another record, there's obviously some things you did that was right, that even afforded you that opportunity. And you want to be respectful of that, and you realize there are fans that expect certain things, but you can't let all that wig you out. Every time you've got to find a way to trick your mind into thinking this is the first time. This is just following that intuition, those sparks that just kind of happen when you start jamming with certain musicians that you connect with. So every record, it's about trying to rediscover the chemistry that made you do it in the first place.
And do you think it's the right time now to start working on a new record if you haven't already?
Yeah, well, we've been working and writing for the last 2 years, plus around there, and we're itching to put out a new record. So hopefully very soon we'll have one out.
Do you guys get harder on each other when you guys are writing new music?
That is a good question. We go through spurts.
Okay.
I think right now we're very fragile, but we share an ambition of we want to be done.
Yeah.
And so the worst thing you can say at this point, you feel sometimes, is, that song I think you should try to just rewrite. And it's like, so you got to be careful with the workload that you pose to each other, and you got to choose your words carefully, I think, because we all want to get to the finish line really bad right now, and there's certain ideas that could derail that. And I think we've kind of learned that over the years, and the brotherhood of our band is something that we trust, and but the goal right now is, I kind of liken this to a pregnancy. When you're creating something, there's this baby that's developing, and you're nurturing. You're going to the doctor's visits. You're making sure everything's okay. Maybe you got to start doing some classes to help. We go a little too detailed here, but the point is that we are full term right now with our new record, and we just want to get this baby out. I can't sleep at night. Freaking got acid reflux. It's like, let's just get to the end of this thing. But we're really excited. We got a lot of great ideas that are on the table right now. We're out here in LA, probably going to be camped out for the next couple months to just go that extra little distance to finally put the period on this record.
We got to play a new song here today.
Okay.
And Made in America set. So
Well,
that
unfortunately,
was cool.
I was back here the whole time. So, I mean, what was the crowd reaction to the new song?
It's great. It's really, really encouraging. It was positive, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the new song, what it's called or what it's about? Or
It's called Monument. Maybe you should talk about.
Yeah, I know. It's just a song called Monument, and it's just a song about making every day some sort of monumental experience of your life. You never know which day you have is the last. So it's a very, very now type of song, something that is inspiring to me, certainly the older I get, and this sense of urgency of just getting it right with what you have,
Now, with today's festival, are there any artists that you guys are looking forward to seeing live, or maybe even connecting with for the first time to maybe open up new doors with MuteMath and whichever that artist may be?
Well, like I mentioned before, Forness is a big. I love Forness, just because I'm into Latin music.
Okay, so he's the hip hop head. You're the Latin guy.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would love to see him. I doubt I'll meet him or anything, but
He just left right now.
really?
Yeah, I just spoke to him
Oh,
like
get
2
outta
minutes
here.
ago.
Well, anyway, I know people in Colombia, and I've worked with Colombianos, and it's a fascinating culture to me, and I think he integrates traditional Latin music with a sense of rock, and just great melodies and stuff like that. So anyway, him for me, Cypress Hill obviously was a big one. Kanye, who else? Weezer, I know, for not so much for me, but for the other two guys maybe in the band, like big deal.
Yeah.
They're probably there right now. I think they're on right now. I know. Do you want to say anything?
No, I mean, I would have reiterated Kanye, but it looks like, we're here. This is kind of work time for us, and we're here to kind of record our records. So we kind of have to leave here and get right to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would reiterate Kanye. I've never seen a Kanye show, quite honestly.
I haven't either.
I saw him at Lollapalooza
You did?
a couple of years ago. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see you guys on stage or something, or in the crowd.
yeah, right on.
And it's funny that you mentioned about Juanes, because I was just talking to him about doing more music with English artists. And now that he's more comfortable with his English,
Yeah.
it's something that he's looking into. So maybe it could be a possibility.
I really respect him for not doing English music,
Okay.
and it's pretty remarkable that he's gone as far as he's gone in the States, just singing in Spanish, and how they view him over there in Colombia. I feel like, which we did. MuteMath got to do a show in Colombia several years ago. It was a great experience. So we have a connection there. That he really makes it. At least he used to. I don't know. This is what I've been told. He made it a point to stick to, like, I'm gonna do who's me. I'm a Spanish speaker, Spanish artist, or whatever, Spanish singing artist. So that's interesting. I'm curious to know what he would do if he wants to do a track in English.
You got to get this interview out to him, then
Yeah,
hopefully
hey.
something can happen. So you mentioned you're on business mode right now. So when you guys are in the studio, what are your restrictions, if any, as far as, can you guys go out? Can you guys do this? Can you guys do that?
Strictly work, man, 24/7. We don't mess around, especially when we're out here.
We had our stretch of fun. I mean, we've been at this for about 2 years now, and we've stopped to smell the roses along the way and all that stuff. But right now, it's buckle down, 24/7, get it done. That's the mode we're in. So our goal is
walking
by
the laps, trying to get this baby out, man.
Dude. Man. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all hands on deck. We got to finish this record.
Do you have a set date, or not date, but at least set time frame that you would like to get this out?
We want to be done with it by December.
So definitely something we can hear this year.